It was a peculiar sight. As traffic surged along one of the UK's busiest roadways, the M6, CCTV cameras captured two women walking along the narrow central reservation, vehicles speeding perilously close on either side. These women were Sabina and Ursula Eriksson, 40-year-old identical twin sisters. Born in Sweden, Ursula had eventually moved to the US, while Sabina had settled in Ireland. Just a day prior, on May 16, 2008, Ursula had flown to Dublin to visit Sabina. Their reunion quickly took a troubling turn when Sabina got into a heated argument with her husband, the father of her two children. In the middle of the night, the sisters left the house without informing anyone. By the next morning, they had somehow made their way to Liverpool, visiting a local police station to report that Sabina's children were in danger, unsafe in their father's care. Officers briefly investigated, but appeared far more concerned by the sisters' erratic behavior than by the alleged threat to the children. Shortly after leaving the station, the sisters were removed from a public bus due to behavior some passengers deemed threatening. And yet, the bizarre behavior escalated further. As for reasons no one could understand, they began walking toward the M6, eventually stepping directly onto the motorway. It defied logic and put them in an extremely dangerous position. One wrong move could have ended in catastrophe. And indeed, that is precisely what happened. Without warning, both women ran into the lanes of traffic, with Sabina colliding directly with a car in the fast lane. Local police were immediately inundated with calls, and a group of officers was dispatched to the scene. Coincidentally, a camera crew from the show Motorway Cops was already following them. The program documented the daily challenges of traffic officers, from routine infractions to devastating tragedies. This segment would fall unmistakably into the latter category.
Lane 3 is obviously the fastest lane in the motorway. Anyone being hit, you're expecting serious injury, if not life-threatening.
Despite fears of the worst when officers arrived, they encountered a startling scene. Ursula and Sabina, who had been struck at high speeds, were unharmed. Calmly standing and speaking to each other as if nothing had occurred, the sisters' survival seemed miraculous. Officers tried to piece together the events.
What we've got is they were in the central res. They were trying to cross the Bravo, so as we approached, they hadn't seen us, mother. The red one's got knocked down by the red car over there. I've got an ambulance en route for her. Right. She seems all right, but I'm not a doctor. She has been knocked down.
Is she the one that speaks English or the other one?
Yes.
Right.
The other one, she's the...
Without a single word, Ursula dashed again into the middle of oncoming traffic, running directly into the path of a truck traveling over 60 miles per hour. In an instant, Sabina followed, colliding with a Volkswagen.
The other one, she's gonna run it.
Oh no! Mike Alpha, we need ambulance. Senior officers to the scene, we've got two possible fatals.
Within seconds, a scene of surreal calm had become utter chaos. Both women were lying on the pavement, alive but injured. Sabina was unconscious but stable, while Ursula suffered catastrophic injuries to her legs, described by paramedics as if they had been pulverized. She remained conscious, yelling at paramedics, cursing, and even attempting to strike them.
Calm down.
Fucking asshole.
Calm down.
Jesus.
Mine's very aggressive, spitting at me.
Shouting things like, "I recognize you. I know you're not real."
Come on, you've hit your head. Calm down. We are the police. We are the police.
Meanwhile, Sabina began to regain consciousness, standing and screaming to her sister, "They're going to steal your organs." One officer tried to restrain her, but she resisted.
Still, why do you kill me?
Oscar Tango 33.
Eventually shoving an officer aside and running into oncoming traffic again.
No! Stay! Stay there! Calm down, calm down, calm down!
Cars managed to avoid her, but it took 6 officers to finally subdue her. Her strength, despite her size, was extraordinary. Ursula was airlifted to a hospital where she underwent extensive surgery. Sabina, astonishingly, had no injuries and was released into police custody just 5 hours later, arrested for assault and motorway trespass. Questions immediately arose. Why had the twins behaved this way? The first theory was drugs, but toxicology reports revealed neither substance nor alcohol in their systems. They were sober. The prevailing theory became that both women were experiencing a simultaneous mental breakdown. Experts would later point to a psychological phenomenon known as folie à deux, a shared delusion transmitted between individuals, explaining how both might perceive the same distorted reality. During the incident, officers considered holding Sabina under Code 136, a provision allowing temporary detention for mental health assessment.
Is she under arrest about it?
Well, 136 if she...
Yet shockingly, this never occurred. Sabina was released the next day without evaluation, unaware of Ursula's condition or whereabouts, still delusional and stranded in an unfamiliar city. As she wandered, carrying her belongings in the evidence bag provided by police, Sabina encountered Glenn Hollinshed, a man walking his dogs. He offered her shelter, and she accepted. Yet inside his home, her paranoia intensified. She constantly checked windows, fearing her cigarettes had been poisoned. Hollinshed tried to help, assisting her with calls to locate Ursula and ensuring she ate. The following day, while Hollinshed stepped out, he returned covered in blood, screaming, "She stabbed me." He collapsed, whispering a final plea about his dog before dying. Sabina had stabbed him. By the time police arrived, she had fled with a hammer, striking her own head as she muttered incoherently. She attacked a passerby with a hidden roof tile, only narrowly avoiding capture. The pursuit ended on a 40-foot bridge over a highway where she jumped. Somehow surviving, Sabina suffered 2 broken ankles and a skull fracture. She later stood trial for Hollinshed's murder, never explaining her motives. The defense cited folie à deux, suggesting her delusions played a role. She was found not mentally fit at the time of the crime and sentenced to 5 years. The most chilling detail remained the complete failure of law enforcement to act under Code 136.
Is she under arrest about it?
Well, 136 if she is.
Police allegedly even requested the television show remove the mention of holding her, erasing a critical opportunity for intervention. Had this been followed, Ursula might have received care, and the encounter with Hollinshed may never have occurred. Since her release in 2011, Sabina disappeared from public view. Ursula has never been seen again. To this day, the fate of the Erickson twins remains unknown. From the urban madness of a motorway to the "Hey CreepyVids fam, we have chosen a winner for the giveaway." Unfortunately, there can only be one, and the decision was made because with this money, we can truly help someone in need. And that is what this giveaway is all about. I've seen so many of you putting in great effort, following through on everything, and even some who usually stay in the background, but decided to step forward this time. I noticed you all, and I won't forget you in the future giveaways. The winner is someone who has been here from the very beginning, and for whom this support will make a real difference, for the surgery of her son. Congratulations, Kristen, for winning $1,000. You can send us an email to creepyvidsco@gmail.com to claim your prize. See you in the next videos. Evidence of the suspect's violent history came into focus. Witnesses described how he had shoved his girlfriend to the ground, slammed her head into a tree, and attacked anyone who tried to intervene. The morning of August 22, 2025, seemed like any other on the Lynx Blue Line in Charlotte. Commuters boarded the train, some lost in their own thoughts, others scrolling through their phones, unaware that a single journey would end in tragedy. Among them was Irina Zarutska, a 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee, quietly trying to make her way through a new life in a foreign city. She had survived the unimaginable in her home country, but nothing could have prepared her for what would unfold that day.
Homeless repeat felon DeCarlos Brown Jr. was seen sitting behind Sarutska, and she was seemingly absorbed in her phone on her way home from work. He then allegedly stabbed her multiple times. After the shocking, unprovoked attack, Sarutska looked up at her killer with terror in her eyes. She was seen cowering in fear and covering her face with her hands. About 15 seconds later, she fell to the floor. While some rushed to her aid, other passengers were seemingly frozen in a state of shock, as the video reveals multiple people looking confused in the immediate aftermath of the attack. A man in a gray hoodie was seen standing up and following Brown as he splattered blood up and down the train, while a woman in red glanced over at Zarutska before grabbing her things and leaving her seat.
As the train sped along its route, an unexpected act of violence shattered the calm. Zarutska collapsed beneath her seat, the victim of a sudden, unprovoked attack. Panic rippled through the cabin as passengers realized someone was in desperate need of help.
New footage reveals that in the final moments of her life, Irina Sarutska's fellow passengers tried to help her. The Ukrainian refugee had collapsed to the floor underneath her seat on the Lynx Blue Line train in Charlotte, following the stabbing attack, when a number of train riders ran over and bent down beside her, trying to offer aid. Heroic passengers reportedly tried to perform CPR on the 23-year-old victim, as one man took his shirt off to dress her wound, and another ran to tell the train operator what had happened and get them to stop the train. Tragically, there was nothing that they could do to save her.
Instantly, strangers became allies. One man bent down to offer aid, removing his own shirt to assist in controlling the situation. Another sprinted to the front of the train, alerting the operator to bring the vehicle to a stop. Others worked quickly and calmly, performing CPR, trying to keep her alive while waiting for first responders to arrive. In those moments, the chaos of fear and urgency revealed the very best of human instinct. Every second was a struggle against time, and every action mattered. Despite the passengers' valiant efforts, Zarutska did not survive. Her life was taken far too soon, leaving a community in shock and grief. Authorities acted swiftly, apprehending the suspect, a 32-year-old man with no known connection to Zarutska. The attack appeared completely random, leaving investigators searching for a motive and piecing together the circumstances of the tragedy. While the city mourned, the courage and quick thinking of those on board stood as a testament to human compassion in the face of terror. Zarutska's story is a reminder of how fragile life can be and how ordinary people can become heroes in extraordinary moments. Though the events of that day ended in loss, they also revealed the profound capacity for bravery, empathy, and selflessness among strangers in a crisis. Charlotte would never forget the morning of August 22, 2025, a day that began like any other but ended with heartbreak, heroism, and a stark reminder of the unpredictability of life. Even as communities grappled with the sudden, unfathomable loss on the Lynx Blue Line, the human instinct to face danger and survive would be tested once more, far from the city streets. Hundreds of miles away, beneath storm-choked waves and crushing blackness, another life hung in a balance just as fragile, yet just as extraordinary.
It was, as you say, it was very much another day at the office, really. It was quite a normal day, and the first inkling we had that something was going wrong was we heard an alarm, really, over we have an earpiece, which gives us a constant line of communication up to our diving supervisor. But that's not an unusual thing to hear, but subsequently he was then started asking us to leave the structure with some degree of urgency, and you could just tell from the...
Beneath the storm-choked waves of the North Sea, commercial diver Chris Lemons descended into a world few humans ever witness. At 330 feet below the surface, he worked calmly, tethered to life itself by the slender umbilical cable that supplied oxygen, warmth, and communication. It was a lifeline, fragile yet essential, threading him to the distant crew above. But in a single terrifying moment, that lifeline was torn away. The cable snapped, leaving Chris suspended in freezing black water, alone in a void that seemed determined to swallow him whole. Panic might have claimed anyone else, yet Chris stayed as calm as possible as he faced the worst. Complete isolation, the crushing pressure of the deep, and the knowledge that his backup air supply offered only a few fleeting minutes. As he sank to the seabed, his body numbed by cold and lungs desperate for breath, time stretched into an impossible silence. Above him, the crew scrambled against the currents, racing toward a man who should already have perished. Minutes passed. 35 minutes, far longer than the human body could survive without oxygen, and yet Chris remained. Consciousness flickered, every heartbeat a quiet rebellion against the suffocating blackness. When the crew finally reached him, hands grasping, pulling, dragging him upward through the turbulent depths, the impossible became real. Chris gasped for air, eyes opening to the pale, storm-darkened surface, alive against every expectation.
And amazingly, you went back to work, back to the same sort of diving 3 weeks later.
Yeah, well, I can't really do anything else, unfortunately. So, yeah, I think for us it was a case of we needed to get back on the bike, and I think if we hadn't done it then, we perhaps never have done it. But we went back as a three with Dave and Duncan alongside.
Doctors would later call it a miracle, a survival defying the limits of the human body and mind. His story, immortalized in the documentary Last Breath, left audiences grappling with a single haunting question. How could anyone survive 35 minutes in freezing black water at 330 feet below the surface, utterly alone and cut off from life itself? Some survived by sheer will, defying the impossible. Others would encounter terror in quieter, subtler ways, where the calm of nature could turn in an instant, and the ordinary rhythm of a morning could fracture under the whisper of unseen fear.
Well, there's certainly no shortage of the pheasant-back mushrooms out here. You can see, here's one, and then one over here. They look really nice. And then just looking around here in the distance, that tree has a bunch.
The morning started like any other for the YouTube channel Tomorrow's Garden. With a calm mist settling over the forest floor, he wandered through the undergrowth, hunting for mushrooms among the fallen leaves and moss-covered logs. His camera, ever vigilant, captured the delicate shapes and colors of his finds, each one a quiet testament to the hidden life thriving in the shadows of the trees.
And then this log over here has a bunch. Take a walk over there. These look pretty big.
Minutes passed with nothing but the gentle rustle of the forest and the distant call of birds. The air was crisp, carrying the earthy scent of damp soil and decaying leaves. But then, without warning, a sound shattered the stillness.
And this one looks like it has a bite out of it. And this one. And there's one over here. Looks like it's holding some water. Huh? I think it's time to go.
A scream so sudden, so blood-curdling, that it seemed to vibrate through the very trunks of the surrounding trees. It was close. Too close. He scanned the area, trying to locate the source. But there was nothing visible, only the echo of that primal, terrified cry lingering in the mist. The forest, once peaceful, felt heavy, almost suffocating, as if the trees themselves were holding their breath. Quickly, he made the decision to leave. Footsteps quickened over damp soil and hidden roots, and the serene hunt for mushrooms was abandoned entirely. And then, just like that, the footage stops. No further explanation, no resolution, only the eerie silence that followed the scream. What could have made that scream so close and so terrifying? Was it an animal, a person, or something else entirely? A scream in the forest may fade with distance, but its echoes linger, a chilling reminder that danger is never far from those who walk unguarded. From the silent woods of Europe to the deceptively calm waters of the Miriam River in Brazil, ordinary days can unravel in the blink of an eye, leaving grief and shock in their wake. On the 29th of June 2025, a group of teenagers ventured into the Miriam River in Bacal, Brazil for a quick morning swim. But after several minutes in the water, the group realized that one of its members, 13-year-old Raya, was no longer beside them. Calling out her name and scanning the surrounding area brought a chilling truth into focus. Raisa had disappeared. Likely somewhere in that murky water she was gone. The news sent shockwaves through the community. Locals quickly gathered at the riverbank, hoping to find her, but every attempt proved futile. With each passing moment, the grim likelihood that Raisa had tragically drowned grew stronger. By the next morning, the search had shifted to recovery efforts, drawing news crews eager to document the unfolding tragedy. For one reporter, Lenil do Frazzo, Raisa's story felt less like breaking news and more like a cautionary tale. The Miriam River is deceptively calm at first glance, which is precisely what makes it so dangerous. Beneath its surface lurks a strong, unpredictable current and a riverbed scattered with sudden drop-offs, where even shallow areas can plunge an unsuspecting swimmer into deep water without warning. Tragedies like this had occurred before, and for Lenil, this was the moment to show the river's deadly nature, not just tell viewers, but demonstrate it. And so, he began removing his shoes and pants, microphone in hand, before stepping into the river.
Pois justamente aqui, pessoal, nós vamos entrar agora na água aqui para mostrar para vocês o local. Olha, a gente já vê que aqui a água é muito forte, ó. E vai descendo, ó. Vixe Maria, vai descendo aqui, viu? Ó.
The camera rolled as he waded in, first only to knee-deep, before the riverbed dropped beneath him, sending the water surging up to his chest.
Então, pessoal, e ainda tem a correnteza. Aqui já, olha, ó, passinho para frente, a água já está praticamente.
Even as he spoke to viewers about the dangers, particularly for children who couldn't swim, his body was submerged and the current pressed around him. Determined to make his point, he moved further toward the river's center, directly into the faster-moving current. But then suddenly...
Olha, andei pouquinho aqui, ó. A água já está acima do meu peito, para você ver a situação. Se eu andar pouquinho aqui, deixa eu ver aqui. Ó, vou andar mais. Ó a fundura aqui, ó. Ui.
Lenil physically recoiled, letting out a sharp yell. He froze, anxiously peering into the murky depths before telling his crew, "I think there's something down here underwater." Whatever he had touched felt disturbingly soft, unnatural. Hastily, he returned to the shore, visibly shaken, explaining to the viewers what had unsettled him. What he stepped on felt like an arm. Moments later, locals would retrace Lenil's steps, and the worst fear was confirmed. Raisa's body was discovered in that exact location. The 13-year-old had tragically drowned. She wasn't a strong swimmer, and the current had pulled her into the deeper section, holding her under. Lenil's warning about the river's dangers had been horrifyingly validated, and the entire ordeal culminated in what many would call one of the darkest moments in television history. Now that was all for today, folks. If you enjoyed these horrifying clips, click to see more on the video on screen.